Alrighty. Well, there's Rocky back there on his pillow. He loves his pillow. There he is. I find the camera on my old phone works better than the camera on the new phone. And there's more memory too, which is nice. The new phone runs out of space pretty quickly. Anyway, it's funny, I was having some thoughts about different things. And now that I'm able just to lay down and relax a bit, it's getting quite late at night. It's nearly 11 p.m. My chores are all done for today. There's Rocky. He's going to lay down there again and have another rest. He's tired from resting before. There, I guess. He's all tired from resting. That'll happen sometimes. There isn't much he can do, though. It's not like the summertime when he can get out and run around a bit and stuff like that. Wintertime's kind of a rough time for Rocky. Anyway, one of the things that I was thinking about, pardon my hair, or, well, what's left of it doesn't look all that great, I know. I need to trim it down with my clippers, I do. I need to trim all the scruff on my face down, too. But, I cover my head with a hat a lot. That avoids the sight of all this weird stuff that's going on up here. Anyway, my neck hurts me. I was thinking the other day about this, actually, and I think it applies in life pretty well, and I think most people really can relate to this a bit. Some of us may be more so than others, because some of us have gotten into more scrapes than others have, and stuff like that. But I guess if I had to give anybody advice as far as if I was to give a young person, say, advice as to how to deal with their fellow human beings, I would say one of the biggest things is don't underestimate anyone. Don't underestimate another person's capacity for goodness. Don't underestimate another person's capacity to be intelligent and strong, and moral and upright. And also don't underestimate another person's ability to be nasty, to be mean and debauched and violent and cruel. And never assume, if you're in a dispute, especially a fight or any other kind of a dispute, never assume that your opponent is weak or stupid. Because people will surprise you, and that's not a time you want to be surprised. If you're in a fist fight on the street, you don't want to find out that your opponent is strong while he's beating your head in. Not a good idea to find out then. I can tell you when I was young, I got into a lot of situations on the streets and whatnot. I seemed to be a magnet for crazy people. I really was. I had people, and that was part of it too with them, is a lot of them underestimated me. They thought I was weak. And so they'd come at me in a aggressive and violent way. And the thing is, I never assumed anybody coming at me was weak. If you were coming at me, I took you seriously. I really did. I took you seriously. And if you were coming at me in a violent way, I assumed that you were capable of hurting me, even if you didn't look like you were, even if you looked like you were about 90 pounds soaking wet and weak as a kitten. I figured if you were coming at me, you probably had something going on there, And so I didn't underestimate anybody. Whether you looked like you could take me or not, I assumed that you could. And the same's true when it comes to outsmarting people and whatnot. Never think that you're smarter than the guy who you're going against. Never think that if you're in a dispute with somebody, it doesn't have to be a physical dispute. It can be any kind of a dispute. Not every dispute is a fist fight. Not every dispute involves a couple of guys hammering away on each other in a parking lot. Trying to knock each other's teeth out or whatever. There's a lot of disputes that don't involve that. A lot of disputes in this life are really more in the mind than anywhere, But what I will tell you is that you should never underestimate the intelligence of the person you're dealing with. Even if to you they seem stupid. Some people are very good at letting you believe they're stupid. Sometimes that's part of the strategy. I'll just let you think I'm stupid and give you enough rope to hang yourself, so that I don't have to. And, people can be quite smart even when they appear not to be. Sometimes appearing not to be smart is the smartest thing you can do. And so, again, never underestimate other people. Always give other people the credit that they deserve. In fact, give them more credit than they deserve. Assume the other guy is smarter than he seems to be. Assume the other guy is stronger than he seems to be. Assume the other guy is capable of far worse than he seems to be capable of. Because I guarantee you, he is. He is capable of far worse than he seems to be capable of. And he probably is stronger than he seems to be. And he probably is smarter than he seems to be. At the same time, give the other guy credit for being better than he seems to be. You give the guy credit for being more morally upright than he seems to be. Give the guy credit for being kinder and more compassionate than he seems to be. Because some people, a lot of people, try to hide their light under a bushel because they're afraid it's going to attract moths. So this is what they do. And so the bottom line is, never think you know what another person is, or who another person is, or what another person is capable of, or what another person can do, or whatever. Sometimes a person may choose not to do something, but that doesn't mean they can't do it. So don't let the fact that they chose not to do something cause you to think that they're weak. At the same time, don't let the fact that they chose not to do something cause you to think that they're being altruistic. Because it could be that they've chosen not to do something today in order to get you into a false sense of security so they can do something even worse tomorrow. That you just don't know with people. You can't tell with people. One of the reasons I hang out with a cat is because I pretty much understand the cat. The cat will do what the cat does, and I know what the cat will do, and I know under what circumstances the cat will do it. The cat's never going to hurt me. Rocky's never going to hurt me unless I'm doing something to him. If I'm really trying to hurt him, he'll do what he has to do to get away from me or to defend himself from me, and then that's normal, Not that I'm ever going to do that, but if I was doing that, it'd be normal and understandable that he would fight me. He'd use his claws and his teeth against me because that's what he has to use. And it'd be my own fault then for initiating that kind of a situation where I was forcing him to do that, though, too. That'd be more my fault than his fault if that were to happen. But, like I say, with the cat, I understand the cat. The cat makes sense to me. People often don't. So, And people can seem to be one way, but then they turn out to be another way. Sometimes people will surprise you by just how decent they really are. Just when you thought that that person was a complete write-off as a human being, they turn out to be actually a good person. And it can also go the opposite way too. And so, like I say, just never underestimate the other humans, because human beings are capable of some pretty amazing things, and they go to extremes. Human beings can go to extremes. For better or worse, we can, and we often do. And so, I can tell you, I had a few people over the years, especially when I was young, especially other young guys on the streets and so on, who underestimated me, and they figured, well, this guy is weak, and we can do what we want with him. And then they ended up, and they figured he's too kind to fight back or to be dirty about it. And then they ended up, with me pulling a weapon on them or something because they came at me. I had a guy come at me. I tell the story in one of my videos. He came at me looking to beat me up because I don't believe what he believes, because my belief system is different than his, and he didn't like that, so he was going to beat me up. And I ended up threatening him with a big wrench. Scared him half to death. But, again, he underestimated me, and he shouldn't have done that. I didn't underestimate him. I assumed if he was coming at me like he was, that he was capable of hurting me. And honestly, he looked like he could have hurt me too. But even if he hadn't appeared to be somebody who could have hurt me, I still would have taken him seriously. And I guess that's the thing anyway. Take your fellow human beings seriously. Don't underestimate anybody. Don't think that you know what a person is capable of, either the good that they're capable of or the bad that they're capable of, because people will surprise you, and sometimes it's a good thing and sometimes it isn't. And I've seen both. I've seen both. I've had people that, well, they would have surprised me, except that I didn't underestimate them. But I mean, I can honestly say that I think that a lot of people who do tend to underestimate others would have been quite surprised if they saw some of the good that I saw from some of the people I saw it from. And they might also be quite surprised if they saw the depths that people will sink to, that I have seen people sink to. So, you can't just assume that you know. That's all. People are kind of complicated. Like I say, that's one of the reasons I hang out with a cat. And he's a wonderful cat, too. Just look at him there. He's really my best friend, this little guy is. And basically with Rocky, if you treat Rocky right, then Rocky will treat you right. And Rocky has no hidden agenda. And he's just a cat, that's all. Just a cat doing cat things. Alright, we'll talk to you all later.